Hi guys, today I am back with number 3 of our Mixed Media Mania scrapbooking challenge that me and Mari Clarke are putting together. So if you haven't already seen Mari's video, make sure you stop by her channel after this video and check out her video of her take on the challenge. So right now I'm just showing you what kind of the pieces are that I'm going to be using in this on this page. It is from the Pebbles We Go Together collection, and I'm definitely not going to be using all of this, but I just kind of have the whole collection out, so I just wanted to give you a quick look-see of the papers and the embellishments and things like that. So hopefully you guys are enjoying the series. This is, like I said, number 3 in our series, and Mari is doing, what is it called? Oh goodness. An art journal page. So I'm always doing a scrapbooking layout, and she's doing an art journal page, and we are working together on this mixed media venture, and it has been fun, and I'm glad you guys have come along with us, and I hope to do a couple more of these with her. So all I'm doing here is taking my watercolors and painting water all over the background of this paper. And what I did before this was I just tested out the different colors. I wasn't quite sure what color I wanted to use, so I ended up using this gray, and I just kept putting it on. I didn't videotape the entire thing, or I fast forwarded through, because you didn't need to see me going back and forth rubbing the paint on. So I just basically did that and just kept it pretty wet. I wanted it very, very light, and then I just dried up this paper, and I am using a watercolor paper on this. And this is a die cut that I got from I believe the Silhouette store. It was a background image, and I cut it out using the watercolor paper as well, and I'm just testing out the different colors on this, and I'm going to paint this to match the colors in the collection. So I'm going to paint on the different colors here, and then I'm going to dab it off because I want it to be a very light color. I don't want it to be too bold. So here is just the red from the palette, and this watercolor palette is from Michaels. It's one of the inexpensive, I think, Artist Loft brand, and I think I only paid about $5 for it. So it's a pretty good buy. It does kind of give a chalkier residue, I guess, when it's done and it dries, but it, for the price, it works for me. I have some other watercolors that are much nicer than this, but they're much more bold, and I wanted to have a more lighter appearance, so this is actually perfect for this layout. So I'm just going to go through and color the different hearts throughout the die cut here, and I'm just going to be picking different colors, and again, just matching it to the colors in the paper. So here you can see I was just trying to see if I had the right color, greenish blue. And using the watercolor paper on this is pretty much a must. I think it works a lot better. I'm using a lot of water and a lot of paint on this, and you can tell, I think, from this video that it's not curling up. And if I used a thinner piece of cardstock, it would have pretty much destroyed it. So that's why I decided to use watercolor for not only the background, but for the die cut as well. And if you guys need to know what die cut this is, what file number or name it is, I can look that up for you. So just leave me a comment below, and then I can check that out. Like I said, it is from the Silhouette store. I just don't know what the name of it is. I know it was in the background section. When I looked up and I was doing a search, I looked in the category background and heart. I think background hearts is what I looked up. So I'm just trying to decide what color is, and this time I'm mixing the two pinks. I wanted it to have a pink that wasn't quite so bright, but not too light as well. So that's why I decided on that, and I'm just going to dry that up and then set that to the side and then move on to the next area. And what I'm going to end up doing is cutting out pattern paper to fit behind the hearts, and basically the what are they called, the hearts will be like a mat to the pattern paper. So I'm just going to cut this out. At first I tried doing this where I just cut or trace the inside, but that was not a very smart idea, because when I flip it over, because I didn't want to make pencil marks on the good side, when I flip it over, it's not going to fit because the shapes of the hearts are not the same. I don't know what I was thinking or why I thought that would work. So you're going to see quickly here, I'm going to change from cutting them out and tracing on the back to cutting them out and tracing them on the front side, and I'm just going to do the outside of the heart instead of the inside. And if you see some little fingers in the bottom right hand corner, my daughter was sorting my embellishments in separate piles. So she put all the vellum in a pile and all the cardstock hearts in a pile, and so she was sorting for me while I was scrapbooking. So like I said, I'm just going to kind of go through this, and in a couple seconds I'm going to fast forward to the end, so you don't have to see me continually cutting out paper and fitting it in. And that should change here in just a few minutes. And this collection is really, really cute. I love the papers in this collection. It has a lot of peanut butter and jelly icons and cookies and milk. I'm actually going to put the cookies and milk one. They all say we go together like, and I think the cookies and milk one is good for this layout. It's actually going to be a picture of my daughter. And there you go, it's fast forwarded. And I'm going to apologize up front here. I had some problems with my video camera when I was videotaping the end of this, putting the embellishments on and things. So I ended up putting almost everything on, and then when I went to download all the video, I realized I had missed recording a lot of what I added on. So I kind of pulled the layout apart a little bit and kind of showed you how I pieced the things together. You're not going to see quite as much of my process as you normally do, but you're going to kind of see how everything kind of went together if you're interested in doing something similar to this. So here I'm just finishing up the last heart. And then what I'm going to end up doing is flipping this all over and then just gluing this down with my Scotch Quick Dry. And this is a good time to have that fine liner bottle because you don't have to put a lot of glue down and you can get it all the way around these somewhat thinner dies, and it works perfectly. So I'm going to show a little bit of me gluing this down, and then it's going to get fast forward to the end. So because again, this is kind of like watching paint dry. It's not all that exciting. Once you've seen one, you've pretty much seen them all. So here I'm just finishing that up. And I like that Tim Holtz mat that I'm using under that. It really keeps my work surface clean and from the glue and all the other mixed media I use. I really like everybody's, I think they're Heidi Swap, those like tealish mats. Those things are so pretty, but I just can't see myself buying that when I have this, and it works fine. So I'm probably going to stick with the Tim Holtz Ranger mat, but I love those teal ones. They're just so pretty, and I like how they're kind of cushy. So here I'm just trimming out some of the extra pieces of pattern paper that was kind of spilling over the edge, and I'm just using my Martha Stewart craft knife. This is probably my favorite craft knife. It feels really good in my hand. It's very ergonomical and just it fits nice in my hand. So I really recommend this one. And here's just a close-up of what it all looks like once it's all put together. And then I'm going to move on and put this on the background page. And I thought I wanted a little bit more texture, but I didn't want anything to be too bold. So what I end up doing is getting one of my Tim Holtz stencils out and using some modeling paste and adding just a little bit extra texture. And this one is called doily, and it reminds me of lace, like a lace doily. And I'm just putting some texture on the background here, and it's just going to be white. And I'm using a light modeling paste. This is from Liquitex, and I got it from Michael's, and I used my 40% off coupon. My other modeling paste, that's the regular, I guess it's a heavy body modeling paste, it dried up on me, and I didn't end up getting to use it all, which I was kind of bummed. So I'm interested to see if this lasts a little bit longer for me, so I'll let you know as I go through the bottle. But I kind of like this. It was a very fluffy texture, and I just really like the texture of this. It was really nice and creamy and fluffy, and it wasn't so thick and pasty, so I don't know, I may stick with just this light body paste instead. So as you can see there, it just leaves a little bit of a texture, nothing too much. I wanted it to be very subtle. After I dry this, I'm going to show a close-up of the texture so you can see it a little bit better. And I wanted to add a little bit more here, so that's why I dried up that one spot. But in a second, like I said, I'll dry it all up and you'll be able to see a close-up of the texture on here. And it's just a really pretty stencil. I really like this stencil. So here I'm just drying it up. Dry, dry, dry. Normally I trim that out. I'm sorry, you gotta watch me dry my paper. So here I'm just putting it back on, making sure I like where that texture is, and there you go. Here you can see the texture on there. It's just so pretty. Really like how that turned out. So I decided that I didn't want to have just a white background. I really want to have a little bit of a border around it. So I grabbed a piece of paper from my stash. I have no idea what brand this is. I think it came in one of those boxes of paper. I believe my friend Tiffany had actually given this paper to me, and what I did was I just pulled it from my stash, and it matched the colors really well, and I just really like it. It's a little bold for using it as a full sheet, so I thought that was perfect for a background for this particular layout. So thank you, Tiffany, if you're listening, for the paper. Oh, and there my kitty cat came to visit. He only likes to seem to visit when I'm scrapbooking, which I'm sure I've told you guys before. Here I'm just gluing down my ATG gun all over this. Even though it is the watercolor paper, it did curl slightly, so I just kind of wanted to put something on it so that it would lay a little nicer. And so I'm just going to stick that down, and that kind of made it lay a little bit flatter. And I'm just going to mess with it just a little bit. So here is where I'm going to start gluing everything down and where it kind of skips a bit, and you're going to see how I put everything back together. Here you can see I added on some of these little black gems and some of those enamel hearts in the date. This is where I somehow didn't record and it got missed. So I already had those down and I wasn't wanting to pick those off. So I'm just going to show you how I matted up the pictures. And this is just scrap I had left over from cutting out those hearts. So it was perfect. And the 6x6 paper is really great for this kind of thing because it's got a really small pattern on it. And I just really like how that looks, especially when you have the tighter layers. You can see more pattern. Some of the bigger paper has a bigger pattern on it and it just doesn't show as much. So there's a picture of me and my daughter. And I made it black and white, and because when I first started this, I wasn't sure what picture I was going to use. So I just made the layout first, and then I found a picture, and I decided I wanted to use black and white. That way all the colors really shine, and then that black and white photo pops a little bit more. If I used a color photo, I think it would have melded into the background a little bit, and I didn't want that. So here I'm just sticking on some of these arrow shapes. They're from the die cut collection. That little card says "We go together," and it has a little milk bottle and a cookie on it. That is from the 6x6 paper pad that I just cut apart. And then I'm adding this arrow on that is also from the die cut pack and adding a couple more enamel star or hearts. So I'm pretty much done with this. I just want to say thank you guys so much. I hope you guys are enjoying this video and this video series. If you haven't already, please go and stop over at Mari Clarke's YouTube channel. I have a link below in the description so you can get to her channel and check out the video as well. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you are not already a subscriber, please subscribe, and if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys again next time. Bye bye, have a great day.